हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हो सब? गुड. चलो, yesterday we have completed with 701. What we have learned in 701, that is called communicating key audit matters, right or not? I hope you got an idea what key audit matters are all about. So key audit matters are which matters? Those matters which in auditor's judgment are of least significant or most significant. Among which matters? Those matters which he has already discussed with TCW and which is affecting past year, current year financial statement, that we have to display in one paragraph called CAM para. CAM is not a substitute of PC, EMP, OMP, basis, opinion, notes to accounts, MRP. So this is completely a separate para. Now do we give a declaration that we are not giving a separate opinion on that? Does it affect your opinion or does not? Should we discuss the wordings of this para before making it final with TCWG? But they can tell me to not include it or they can tell me to change the wordings of it. They cannot order me not to include it because including it or not including it is not their wish. That is whose responsibility? Auditor's responsibility. Okay? Next one, how do we determine that something is a CAM? हमें कैसे पता चलता है कि एक चीज CAM है? Significant ROMM is assessed. Significant management estimates are involved and significant event has taken place during the year. That brings an end to our what? CAM का concept. Am I correct or not? ये हमने CAM कर लिया था कल. फिर before going and before leaving, we have already started with 705. What is the name of 705? Modifications to the opinion in the independent auditor's report. If I am not wrong, you all will agree with me in this particular chart. Once this chart is over, then I will focus upon in letting you know कि what is the language you have to use in the examination. क्योंकि let me tell you one thing, 700 series में nowadays ICI have started asking you to draft a opinion para. It means they may ask you to draft the proper opinion paragraph of your report. I am not saying that you have to learn the whole audit report. You don't have to learn the format of whole audit report. Only elements are enough. But specially we are going to focus on which para? So opinion paragraph mein what kind of language we have to use, how we have to use, where we have to use, that we are going to focus upon. So it's going to take another 15-20 minutes. After that immediately we'll jump to our next standard called 706 and we'll try to start with 710 as well today. ठीक है? अब सुनो. Look at the situations. Situations are there in front of you. Situation number 1 and 2, just look at the name of the situation. What is the one? Auditor obtained SAAE, right? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence you have already obtained. And what is the situation number 2? Auditor is able to or unable to obtain what? Sufficient and appropriate audit. So obviously in the first case there will be a qualified or adverse ka case, or second case will be a qualified or disclaimer. I think now you got a little bit of perfection ki way to qualify and way to disclaim and way to adverse. But do you remember in the earlier classes I used to tell you that better you use the word called what? Modified. अभी अपन यहाँ पे समझेंगे. देखो केस नंबर 1 क्या है? Auditor has obtained a SAAE, sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, and he thinks that ki that material misstatement which he found is neither material in nature nor pervasive in nature. Again repeating, neither material in nature nor pervasive. So neither it is affecting my users or nor it is affecting the auditor. तो इस केस में अपन कौन सी ओपिनियन देंगे? Unmodified, clean opinion. Am I correct? Now situation number 2, auditor has obtained the SAAE. On the basis of that, whatever the MM he found, what is MM? Material, that is frauds and errors. It is material, but it is not what? Pervasive. So what is material and when it is not pervasive, we end up giving what? Qualified opinion, right? And what is the third case, everyone? It is material as well as what? Pervasive. We will end up giving what? Adverse. Or adverse, why it came? Because we have a what? Evidence. तो जब अपने पास evidence होता है ना, when we got an evidence, we become 200% sure in drafting our opinion. So we use the line that we conclude that It means we are promising, we are 200% sure that we are able to conclude that. How you are able to conclude that? Because you have an evidence. You know that in the AGM, if any of the shareholder will raise the hand and he will ask, Rohit, I want to know that on the what basis you are concluding that, will I be able to show the evidence? Yes. At that point of time, I am on the safer side. But sometimes you are unable to obtain the audit evidence. Are you getting the point? अब सुनना ध्यान से, जो मैं तुम्हें एक thin line of difference बोल रहा हूं. I think 99.99% of the students who are sitting in the class right now have a bad impression about the opinion called disclaimer as well. Am I correct? You think that disclaimer is also which opinion? Negative opinion. But that is partially true and partially false. I'll tell you why. क्योंकि जब आपके पास evidence ही नहीं है, when you don't have an evidence, how you can say that कि something is right or something is wrong? देखो, you caught a fraud, you have an evidence, you are 200% sure कि yes, there is a fraud. There is a possibility of fraud because just because you don't have an evidence, you can't be 100% sure that there is a fraud. क्योंकि देखो, non-availability of the audit evidence can be because of two reasons. It can be due to the man-made reasons. It can be due to the natural reasons. What are the two reasons? अगर तो man-made है, man-made in the sense, I am telling them to take me to your factory. Let me visit your factory. They are postponing, and finally my audit time period is gone and I was unable to go to their factory. So I'll definitely give a which opinion? Disclaimer. Because they allowed me or did not allow me. But this was which reason? Man-made reason. They postponed it. I did not. But let's say, for example, life-threatening situation is there. Do you remember that? We have done that in 501. Life-threatening situation is there, or you can say that pandemic situation was there. On that particular day of balance sheet, I was unable to do the stock taking or stock valuation. In that case, is it a man-made reason or natural? In that case, you can't say that disclaimer is a negative report, but still you have to give a which report? Disclaimer only. So remember one thing, I would say that more than opinion paragraph, the most important paragraph in our audit report is basis paragraph. Which paragraph? क्योंकि देखो, opinion paragraph में he will only or she will only come to know that कि opinion is right or wrong, true or false, or good or genuine or not ingenuine. But main thing, why I am giving that opinion is written in which para? Basis para. So most importantly, how to draft the basis para and how to draft the opinion paragraph, they may ask you. Are you getting the point? So ये chart I think went inside your head. Look at the second situation also. Auditor is able to or unable to? इसका मतलब which one out of four is out of your opinions? Disclaimer. इसका मतलब adverse. Out of scope is what? Adverse. It means three are left. What are the three left? यहाँ तो clean होगा, qualified होगा, adverse. अब तो मुझे बताओ, you got the case number 1 again. What is the word I have used? See this word? And what is the word I used above? I said exists. And what is the word I use now? Possibility of existence of what? Why did I use the word called possible? We don't have an evidence. So that's why we can't be 100% sure that ki exists. Fraud and error exist. समझ में आ रहा है? So remember one thing, doing the auditing and drafting the report is also an art. Just because you want to write those words, it doesn't mean that you can write those words. You have to choose your words very wisely while drafting a report because it can make the company or it can break the company. Are you understanding the point? तो यहाँ पे मैं sure नहीं हूँ. I'm not sure कि whether there is existence or not. So I will not use the word कि there is I will use the word there is a possibility of अब बताओ, you did not get the evidence and there is a possibility of material misstatement exists, no, and possible effect is pervasive, no. Both are no. Which opinion? Unmodified. You see that there is a possible material misstatement exists, yes, and it is pervasive possibly as yes. Disclaimer. It is possible material misstatement, yes, but it is not what? Pervasive in nature. Then in that case what? Qualified. So dekh lo, unmodified. disclaimer, and the sixth one is what? Qualified. अगर तुमने ये चार्ट को कंज्यूम कर लिया तो in that case your 705 is completely and 100% into your head. Are you getting the point? Now let's focus upon कि sir what are the things we have to write in the examination. If they will ask us कि how do you draft qualified opinion, how do you draft adverse opinion, and how do you draft the disclaimer. Unmodified opinion, clean opinion, we have already discussed in 700. So we are not going to discuss that because the standard name itself says it's a which opinion only? Modifications. Clear है? So I want you to understand one thing. पहले तो ये बताओ, question number 1. Qualified comes at one place or two places? Either as a substitute of adverse or as a substitute of disclaimer. When the things are material but not pervasive. Qualified opinion का point number 1 पढ़ो. Read the point number 1. Read it slowly and try to absorb each and every word. Now what is written? When on the basis of what? It means, now tell me from reading this line only what you can understand. When on the basis of SAAE opted. It means you have or you don't have. इसका मतलब disclaimer is or is not. Either qualified or adverse. When on the basis of SAAE obtained, auditor concludes or auditor is unable to conclude that there is in what? Financial statement, but its impact on financial statement is, but not. That's why I wrote qualified opinion. Clear है? अच्छा, what if I will remove this word but from here and this one? तो ये क्या हो गया? Adverse. तो दोनों की वर्डिंग में डिफरेंस समझ में आया? सिर्फ नॉट का डिफरेंस है. What is the difference? Not. If it is material but not pervasive, you have an evidence which is saying that कि there is and its effect on the current year financial statement is material but not pervasive. So you are going to use a which opinion? और अगर मैं यहां पे ये बट नॉट दोबारा से इंट्रोड्यूस कर दूं तो it will become qualified, otherwise it will be adverse. अभी same language I'm going to show you in the adverse. This is adverse, right? Now compare both the sentences, 1 and 1, both the side. Up to this point both are same. Now look at this. Up to this point both are same. Let me know. Up to this point both are same, everyone. Up to this point also everything is same. Only difference came in this area. What is this area? Material but not pervasive leaded you towards qualified. Material but pervasive leaded you towards. It means materiality or pervasiveness में से which one is a more important word? Pervasive. Or this is your May 22 question. Briefly explain the meaning of what? Pervasiveness. May 22 का question है तुम्हारा. I shown you so many questions earlier also in your question bank. So this is your May 22 ka question. Briefly explain the meaning of what? Pervasiveness. For how many marks? 3 marks. Problem with the CA examination is what? Ki nowadays 3, 3, 4, 4 marks questions are coming. So they have a lot to test on you. तो 3 marks में एक ऐसा छोटा सा टॉपिक डाल देते हैं, 4 marks में एक केस स्टडी डाल देते हैं, अगेन 3 marks में एक स्मॉल टॉपिक एंड 4 marks में big case study. So due to that number of questions are increasing. That is the reason you can't end up leaving any topic in the subject called what? Auditing. You never know from which angle, in which manner they may ask you this question. ठीक है? अब पढ़ो. Read the definition of disclaimer now. When an auditor is able to or unable to. Starting में ही word आ गया क्या? Unable to. वहां पे क्या था? Auditor is able to. यहां पे unable to. Obtain what? तो इसका मतलब हमारे पास एविडेंस तो है नहीं. Then what is this word I use? What is this word? There could be a possible in the FS which could be but pervasive. लेकिन अगर मैं यहां पे not लगा दूं तो it will become what? You can see that this is the comparison between this and that. Clear है? तो यहां पे मैंने not but not लगा दिया तो it is coming under qualified. If I'll remove the not and write but pervasive only, it will become what? Disclaimer. Did you get the point? Now the question arises, sir, what do you mean by materiality and what do you mean by what? Pervasiveness. The broader idea you already have. Materiality is to be seen from whose point of view? whereas the pervasiveness is to be judged from. So an item or transaction of the financial statement which is so important and so significant that it may affect whose decision making, so it is known as what? Materiality. और सेम चीज अगर ऑडिटर को अफेक्ट कर रही है तो परवेसिव. तो व्हाट इज मटेरियल मस्ट बी परवेसिव. थिंक लॉजिकली. What is material must be pervasive, or what is pervasive must be material? That means what is material may or may not be pervasive. Crystal clear? Now look at the pervasiveness. This is the exact definition you have to write in the examination if the 3-mark question will come. What do you mean by pervasiveness? See, I told you to understand, think it from whose point of view? Auditor. But when it comes to presentation in the examination, you will not be able to write that exam until unless you don't see this word. Now see, pervasiveness means what? That thing, the effects of the items on the financial statement in whose judgment? Auditor's judgment. Are you getting the point? So definitely it is not concerned with users. It is concerned with whom? Auditor. What kind of impact is leaving this item on the auditor? Are leaving what? High impact on what? Financial statement. चलो मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल पूछता हूं. मैंने तुम्हें कल भी बोला था कि अगर 4000 करोड़ की कंपनी है, उसमें 1 लाख रुपीस का फ्रॉड हो रहा है, डज दैट लीव अ ह्यूज इंपैक्ट ऑन ऑडिटर और वेरी स्मॉल इंपैक्ट? तो यू विल एंड अप गिविंग एडवर्स और यू विल गिव अ डिस्क्लेमर, सॉरी क्वालिफाइड, यू विल गिव अ व्हाट? क्यों भाई, क्या लैंग्वेज क्या लिखोगे? Auditor is able to conclude that there is a MM in the FS. MM तो है, material में statement तो है, but the impact of that MM on the financial statement of the current year is material but not pervasive. लेकिन अगर मैं इसको 4000 crores of company है और यहाँ पे 200 crores of fraud कर दूं, तो now it is 1 lakh fraud or 200 crores. So it is material as well as what? Pervasive. तो इट मींस इज इट लाइट इंपैक्ट और ह्यूज इम्पैक्ट? तो भाई तो हमने फर्स्ट पॉइंट लिखा है, क्या लिखा है? विच इज लिविंग हाई इंपैक्ट ऑन फाइनेंस. टेस्ट नंबर 1 ऑफ द परवेसिवनेस. लाइक दैट वी हैव टू डू द 4 टेस्ट ऑन द परवेसिवनेस. टेस्ट नंबर 2, विच रिप्रेजेंट्स सब्सटैंशियल पोर्शन ऑफ व्हाट? फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट. अब सुनना ध्यान से, ये मेरी बैलेंस शीट है. इन दिस बैलेंस शीट total 13,000 crores is the total. How much is the crores? उसमें से 9,500 crore is inventory. Now compare the total with the inventory. The remaining assets are more substantial or the inventory is more substantial? So can I say that almost 75% of the balance sheet is consumed by whom? Inventory. It means my focus should be more on which area? And which area is both material as well as pervasive for me? Inventory. So this is the test number 2. So what is the test number 1 for the pervasiveness? Something which leaves a which impact? High impact. And that thing which represent a which portion? Substantial proportion of the financial statement. Need the next point. Not limited to what? Specific elements, accounts and. अब वो क्या बोल रहा है कि मैं, listen to this, try to understand and consume my language. I as an auditor think something as a pervasive if it affects the FS level. Which level? I'm not bothered if it is affecting the ABCD level. What is ABCD? Accounts, balances, classification, disclosure. अगर वो छोटा सा इफेक्ट ABCD level, assertion level पे इफेक्ट देता है, तो that is not pervasive thing for me. But if it is affecting what? FS level, overall materiality, then it is what? Pervasive for me. So read the point. What do you mean by pervasive? Something which in auditor's judgment, read this point directly. Auditor's judgment not limited to element, account or item. अगर वो किसी एक अकाउंट की बात हो रही है या एलिमेंट की बात हो रही है या एक आइटम की बात हो रही है, that is not pervasive. But if it is affecting something which my FS, that is called what? Pervasive. So tell me, what are the 3 tests of pervasiveness you understood? Test number 1, which is leaving a which impact on auditor's judgment? Huge impact. High impact on financial statement. Point number 2, which is constituting how much proportion of the balance sheet? substantial proportion, something which is not limited to elements, items or accounts. Clear everyone? And what is the fourth test? देखो, अगर मैं ये वर्ड यहां से निकाल दूं हाईली, अब पढ़ो ये वर्ड क्या है? If it is important from whose point of view? तो is it pervasive or material? लेकिन if I'll include this word highly now, अगर नॉर्मली इंपॉर्टेंट है यूजर्स के लिए तो इट इज कॉल्ड व्हाट? मटेरियल. बट हाईली इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द यूजर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. चलो मैं तुम्हें एक क्वेश्चन बताता हूं. इनकम टैक्स रेड हैपेंड ऑन अ क्लाइंट एंड क्लाइंट वाज एंडेड अप गेटिंग अ डिमांड लेटर फ्रॉम द इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटी वर्थ 5,000 करोड़. कितने का डिमांड लेटर आया? अब तो मुझे बताओ, कंपनी का टोटल टर्नओवर है 40,000 करोड़, उसको डिमांड लेटर आ रहा है 5,000 करोड़ का टैक्स. अब तो मुझे बताओ, is it something important for the users or highly important? As a shareholder, what is your thought process in this kind of company where you have invested a lot of your money? Did you take a right decision or did you take a wrong decision? It means your company is more popular not in paying the taxes, your company is more popular in evading the taxes. And it's high time you should further invest, or whatever you invested, it is trying to divest. अब तो मुझे बताओ, डिड इट कंप्लीटली चेंज योर परसेप्शन अबाउट द कंपनी और नॉट? तो ये नॉर्मल मटेरियल, नॉर्मल इंपॉर्टेंट था या हाईली मटेरियल, उसे बोलते हैं. तो ये अगर तुमने ये चारों में से एक भी टेस्ट क्लियर कर लिया, इट मींस दैट थिंग इज एम एज वेल एज व्हाट? पी. तो टेल मी द फोर टेस्ट ऑफ पी. दिस इज 3 mark क्वेश्चन इन योर एग्जामिनेशन. हाउ यू विल डिफाइन परवेसिवनेस? Pervasiveness refers to those matters or those items in the financial statement which, in whose judgment, satisfies any of the four conditions. Condition number 1, highly influential on what? Financial statement. Comprises of substantial proportion of what? Financial statement. Third one, not limited to a particular item, account or element. Are you getting? But it is highly important from the whose point of view? क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली अपन ऑडिट करते किसके लिए? फॉर whom we are doing the audit? यूजर्स. तो मेरे को मेन फोकस तो यूजर्स का ही है. देखो, मेरा कोई पर्सनल बेनिफिट नहीं है इन ruining the company's goodwill, but I don't want the people money to get dragged down and completely drown in a company who is not sufficiently enough to enable your decisions. अब जैसे say for example है, देखो, try to understand it. Some chartered accountants do it unethically also. I'll tell you how. वो लोग क्या करते हैं? बैंक के पास जाते हैं, बैंक से they will do some collaboration कि I will bring you the client. Are you getting the point? Whatever the loan you will assign to my client, whatever the loan you will sanction to my client, on that I will charge some, say for example, X amount. X amount का 50% I'll give you as a commission, 50% I'll get it. Now tell me, ultimately you will be successful in earning a lot of money, but you are ending up making the public lose their money, क्योंकि that bank sooner or later will become what? Insolvent. That is what has happened with the Yes Bank in 2019. And who had to step in? RBI had to step in 2019. RBI step in हुआ, Yes Bank की पूरी management was replaced by whose management? RBI. And all the banks had to come forward to take the total debt liability of Yes Bank. Why? क्योंकि a single bank insolvency in India is going to make your trust lose on the whole banking system. And more than demonetization, you will be end up standing in the queue in front of the banks from tomorrow morning onwards. अगर ये सिंपल न्यूज न्यूज़पेपर में आ जाती या क्या बोलते हैं सोशल नेटवर्क पे आ जाती कि येस बैंक इज ऑन द एज ऑफ व्हाट? इंसॉल्वेंसी, आई थिंक एवरी वन ऑफ यू सिटिंग इन द क्लास राइट नाउ विल बी वरीड अ लॉट. क्यों? क्योंकि विच इज द मोस्ट सेफेस्ट प्लेस वी थिंक टू कीप अवर मनी? अगर बैंक ही अनसेफ है तो कहां रखेंगे? हम घर पे नहीं रख सकते क्योंकि इट इज अनसेफ. दैट्स व्हाई वी कीप इट इन व्हाट? बैंक. But if the banks are going to be treated as insolvent, unsafe places, then in that case, where do we keep it? So remember one thing, auditor, whether he wants or not, in these kind of areas, when it comes to lenders' money, shareholders' money, he has to be very careful. He cannot do injustice with them by giving a true and fair opinion where there is a lot of MM happening in the company. What is MM? Material mistake. इसीलिए ऑडिटिंग इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन. विच एग्जामिनेशन? इंडिपेंडेंट. और अपनी रिपोर्ट का टाइटल भी क्या होता है? इंडिपेंडेंट ऑडिटर्स, सिंपल ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट भी लिख सकते थे। और ऑल द स्टैंडर्ड्स में लुक एट दिस, इन ऑल द स्टैंडर्ड दिस इज अ कॉमन थिंग यू विल फाइंड, आईएआर। व्हाट इज आईएआर? पहला स्टैंडर्ड क्या था? फॉर्मिंग एन ओपिनियन एंड रिपोर्टिंग इन फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, ठीक है, उसमें नहीं था। सेकंड वाला क्या था? सेकंड, communicating the key audit matter in the, nobody realized but the actual name of the standard was this only, communicating the key audit matters in the whose report? Independent auditor's report. Now see, communicating the key audit matters in an independent auditor's report. 705B, modifications in the opinion of an independent auditor. 706 also, EMP and OMP in the independent auditor's report. I hope now you understood the difference between materiality and pervasiveness. तो अगर तुम्हें परवेसिवनेस को डिफाइन करने आया ना, तो डोंट बी शॉक्ड एंड डोंट बी ब्लैंक। यू नो द मीनिंग एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकली ऑल्सो एंड यू नो द मीनिंग थ्योरेटिकली ऑल्सो। तो अपने को चार टेस्ट क्लियर करने हैं। कौन से चार टेस्ट? अगर वो सब्सटैंशियल पोर्शन ऑफ बैलेंस शीट है तो मेरे लिए परवेसिव है। अगर वो हाई इंपैक्ट करता है किनको? यूजर्स को, तो वो मेरे लिए परवेसिव है। इट इज नॉट लिमिटेड टू समथिंग लाइक एबीसीडी कैटेगरी, इट इज रिलेटेड टू एफएस लेवल। और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली, अगर हाई इंपैक्ट ऑन व्हाट? फाइनेंशियल स्टेट, तो वो मेरे लिए परवेसिव है। एंड आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, बी अवे फ्रॉम द वर्ड कॉल्ड परसुएसिव व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हाट? परवेसिव। परवेसिव इज डिफरेंट वर्ड, परसुएसिव इज डिफरेंट वर्ड। क्लियर है? तो मोर एंड मोर you will use these technical words, better and better your answer is going to be, and better the marks you will draw. ठीक है? So with that, our another standard is over, that is called 705. Clear है? अभी अपन next standard करेंगे. What is the next standard we have? 706. ये भी बहुत interesting standard है, but now I think your doubts will be 100% clarified कि what is the difference between CAM, EMP and OMP. अब उसको सुनना ध्यान से जो मैं बोल रहा हूं। पहले तो मुझे ये बताओ, what do you understand by CAM का definition? Only CAM का definition. Those matters which in auditor's judgment are of most significant from such matters which he has already discussed with whom? TCW. तो मान लो मैंने TCW के साथ 30-40 matters discuss किए, उसमें से the most significant matters I chose. Am I correct or not? Which in whose judgment? Auditor's judgment. Affecting the which year statement? That I placed it in CAM. Did you understand the point? ये सारे words remember करना, because I am going to compare these words with the EMP का definition. अब सुनो. First of all, तो you all know emphasis of matters para and others matters para is something which you can place anywhere in your auditor's report. That I already cleared it in 700. But where is the suggested place I told you? After CAM. क्योंकि जब आप CAM लिखते हो ना, तो the user is in that zone कि he is reading something important. So let him read him importantly something written in EMP followed by what? OMP. Second thing you need to know that it is not necessary that ki EMP and OMP will come together. Either EMP may come or OMP may come or sometimes both may come. There is no certainty about these two, or neither of them may come. तो चार ऑप्शन है, neither of them, both of them, either of them. या तो EMP भी आ सकता है, OMP भी आ सकता है. Now see, EMP, OMP में if I have to tell you the major thing, this is what the chart you have to remember. ठीक है? उसके बाद it is already written below, but try to understand. पहले अपन क्या पढ़ेंगे? EMP. Now understand, there is one particular matter. There is one particular matter which is already adjusted, already disclosed, already presented. What are the three words I used? Whom do we expect to do all these three things? Management. और क्या लिखा हुआ? By the management. In what? Financial statement. It means, am I saying anything negative about the management? No. It means management is a which management? Good management. But problem क्या है? Auditor feels that he shall reframe it for better understanding of whom? Users. मैं मैनेजमेंट को गलत नहीं बोल रहा. आई एम नॉट सेइंग मैनेजमेंट इज रॉन्ग. व्हाट मैनेजमेंट इज सपोज्ड टू डू, दे डिड इट. बट ऑडिटर फ्रॉम इनसाइड पर्सनली फील्स दैट कि व्हाटएवर द मैनेजमेंट हैज डन, इट इज नॉट गुड इनफ फॉर द बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ व्हाट? यूजर्स. मैं तुम्हें इसका प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल बताता हूं. सुनो, मैनेजमेंट ने क्या किया, अब इसको ध्यान से सुनना. व्हाट द मैनेजमेंट डिड. मैनेजमेंट ने बैड डेट रिकवरी लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ द पीएनएल, राइट साइड ऑफ द पीएनएल में डाल दी। बैड डेट रिकवरी इज योर इनकम और एक्सपेंडिचर, और डेबिट साइड में क्या आएगा, बैड डेट। तो डेबिट साइड पे बैड डेट लिखा हुआ था एंड क्रेडिट साइड पे क्या लिखा हुआ था, बैड डेट रिकवरी। अब तो मुझे बताओ, यू एंड आई नो द मीनिंग ऑफ बैड डेट, एवरीबडी एल्स अदर देन दिस क्लासरूम नोज द मीनिंग ऑफ बैड डेट। तुम अपने बाहर जो अपने सर खड़े हैं उनको पूछो भैया बैड डेट क्या होता है, उन्होंने मेरे को क्या मालूम। अपने मदर से पूछना, फादर से पूछना, दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू टेल यू। नाउ माय क्वेश्चन इज, this audit report or this financial statement is going to go in the hands of whom? Users. So I don't expect every user to be a financially literate person, right or not? They wrote bad debt recovery, which is very nice of management. They are including it in the income, but who will explain to the users ki what do you mean by bad debt recovery? Now imagine I am a user in front of you. You please tell me what do you mean by bad debt recovery? Is recovered. Okay. In some of the past years, there might be some bad debts happened, but that person realized his mistake, had a bad karma in his life also. He came and gave back the money to you. Am I correct? That is called which recovery? देखो तुमने मेरे को समझा रहे हो because you know the point. Are you gonna? How do we expect that the shareholder automatically will come to know? उसे क्या लगेगा कि bad debt recovery is something which is a regular income of the company. Are you getting the point? Everything which is coming on the credit side is nothing but what? Income of the company. He will expect the same thing next year as well. Shareholder क्या सोचेगा, next year भी ये शायद bad debt recovery income होगी. But tell me one thing, bad debt recovery is something which happens recurringly or non-recurring item. Are you getting a once in a blue moon this kind of thing will happen? That too if you have done the good karmas. Am I correct or not? तो कौन उसको एक्सप्लेन करेगा कि बैड डेट क्या होता है और बैड डेट रिकवरी क्या होता है? ऑडिटर। तो अब ये पूरा सेंटेंस दोबारा से पढ़ो। What I'm trying to say, when do we include the EMP? Merge this whole sentence and try to read it. What is? There is a matter which is already adjusted, disclosed, presented by whom? In the financial statement. Am I saying management is wrong? But who feels that? Auditor feels that. He shall. अच्छा, look at this word. What is this word? Reframing. Reframe का मतलब क्या होता है? It is first time framed or second time? क्योंकि first time it is already framed by the management in the financial statement. I am reframing this same paragraph again in my auditor's report so that I can draw their attention to that point and make them understand. Sir, वो छोड़ो, तुमने लॉ में मीटिंग चैप्टर करा है? मीटिंग चैप्टर में कोई बताएगा सेक्शन नंबर 102 क्या है? एक्सप्लेनेटरी स्टेटमेंट। व्हाट इज सेक्शन नंबर 102? और 101 क्या है? नोटिस। हम लोग नोटिस के साथ क्या अटैच करते हैं? एक्सप्लेनेटरी स्टेट। कोई बताएगा when any special business is going to be transacted in the meeting। हम लोग क्यों अटैच करते हैं? एक्सप्लेनेटरी स्टेटमेंट का मीनिंग एक्सप्लेनेटरी स्टेटमेंट क्यों है? Why do we call it as explanatory statement? Explanatory statements is that document which is going to tell you कि what is going to happen in that resolution and why you are coming to the meeting to vote for that. Are you getting the point? तो हम लोग कौन किसको explain कर रहा है? Company is explaining to the shareholders कि when you are going to come to the meeting, this is the resolution where your 75% of the voting is required and this is what you are going to vote for. This is the reason. अब तो मुझे बताओ, don't you think that it is my responsibility also to explain the same thing to my users? That's the reason I'm using the which paragraph? EMP paragraph. Did you understand the point? So अभी पूरे पैराग्राफ को अगेन एक बार जाना। या मेरी क्लास के टाइम पे इनको अच्छा ब्रेक हो जाती है क्या? मैं तो बोलता हूं अंदर लेके आओ इनको, लाइन पे खड़ा कर देना। अनविलिंगली दे हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द ऑडिटिंग। అయిపోయింది अम्मा? बताओ जगह भी कौन सी मिलती है उनको गॉसिप करने की? अरे इतना बड़ा बिल्डिंग है, कहीं पे कोने में खड़े हो हैं? चलो कहां पे थे अपन? हाँ, ईएमपी पे। सो ईएमपी समझ में आया सर? ईएमपी क्या होता है? तो अब विदाउट लुकिंग एट द बोर्ड, कैन यू टेल मी द डेफिनेशन ऑफ ईएमपी? There are some matters already disclosed, adjusted, presented by whom? But auditor feels it to reframe it again for the better understanding of what? अब तुम मुझे बताओ, is it something very near to CAM? CAM में हमने एक declaration दिया था, क्या declaration? We do not provide any separate opinion for the same. Same declaration you have to give it in this report also. अभी मैं तुम्हें other matters paragraph दिखाता हूं. Which matters? EMP I don't think so that there is there in their report, but others matters paragraph is there. Are you there able to see other matter? तो यहां पे okay. Actually क्या है, रिलायंस की रिपोर्ट ही इतनी बड़ी है कि वो लाइन को ढूंढने के लिए इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट. Others matters paragraph in the कहां पे? Where? नहीं, it's not material, तो we are giving the about the above matter. There's one same word, you will find it. The accompanying financial statement. We do not provide. Like that, they have to write one same paragraph. We do not provide. हाँ, ये देखो. Look at this point. What is this? Our opinion above on the consolidated financial statement, our report on OLRR requirement below is not modified in respect of which matters? Above matter. तो यहां पे भी हम लोग सिंपल डिक्लेरेशन स्टैट्यूटरी वार्निंग दे रहे हैं कि whatever I am writing in EMP has nothing negative to say about what? Company. Company is genuine only, everything is super fine. Just I felt that for the better understanding of users, I should reframe the matter again so that you can understand it again. That is what the purpose behind what? EMP. Up now question arises, sir, what do you mean by what? OMP. अभी OMP का meaning पढ़ो. For those matters other than already disclosed in what? Financial statement. मतलब those matters which I think that which are already what? Disclosed. Other than that which is required to be disclosed but disclosed or not disclosed. By whom? Management. So I would like to draw the whose attention on that. So in that case we write the which paragraph everyone? OMP. अब मैं तुम्हें clearly bifurcate बताता हूं. सुनो. There is a bad debt recovery. Same example को in the two different ways. There is a bad debt recovery written on the credit side of the P&L under a head called prior period item. What is the item? Bad debt recovery is relating to current year or prior period only? Okay. Proper disclosure is given. Bad debt recovery is written under that heading and this is a financial statement. Now, tell me, is it something which is already disclosed by the management? In such case, if I want to explain something to the users, what should I include? EMP or OMP? EMP. Right or not? Why EMP? I would like to reframe it, which is already disclosed, adjusted, analyzed by whom? Management. Now, they have not written the prior period item. They simply wrote bad debt recovery on the credit side. अब तुम मुझे बताओ. Now I will do what? EMP or OMP? तो OMP में मैं क्या लिखूंगा? This is an item coming on the which side? Credit side, which deserves a special attention. Which deserves a which attention? It is not relating to current year. It is relating to something which is belonging to the previous years. But company is unable to write it under a separate heading. That's why I would like to draw your attention towards this point. इस case में मैं क्या लिखूंगा? OMP. Why OMP? Because this is something whose responsibility? Management. But did they do or did not do? But is it negative? Is it impacting your FS? So again, management is right only. Little bit of minor changes are there, which I would like to draw the attention of our users. So OMP और EMP में difference आया. अब I'm going to make you see the actual audit report of OMP and tell me ये क्या लिखा हुआ है. Read this paragraph, everyone. B point. Read this B point. We did not audit the financial statement and other financial information in respect of what? 320 subsidiaries. A whole Ind AS financial statement include the total assets of 489,600 crores as on March 31, 2021, and the total revenue is 1,90,655 crores, and net cash outflows are 4,414 crores for the year ended on that day, and financial statement and other financial statements of 99 associates and 30 joint ventures, which reflects a group share of net profit after tax 471 crores for the year ending 31st March 2021. अब तुम मुझे बताओ, looking at this language, what did you find? Are you reframing it or you are drawing the attention of users on that? जब आपको language से लगे, when you see from the language that you are reframing something, it means that is a which para? EMP. But when you see from the language that you are drawing an attention which the management should have done, but you are drawing that attention, then in that case it is known as OMP. Reframing means EMP. And you are drawing on your own means what? OMP. अब तुम मुझे बताओ यहां पे क्या हो रहा है? Are we reframing something or we are directly telling that we have not audited? We have not audited, but we would like to draw your attention towards. अब वो basically इस चैप्टर में क्या बोल रहा है, इस पैराग्राफ में क्या बोल रहा है, 4,89,600 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है, पुट टुगेदर 320 सब्सिडरीज का. We have not done the audit of those subsidiaries and they are constituting approximately 69% of the total turnover. How much percentage? अब don't you think that this particular information users deserves to know? कि मतलब there are 320 subsidiaries which are contributing how much percentage? 69% of the total turnover. अब तो मुझे बताओ, is it something which management disclosed or I directly disclosed? That is the reason the heading of this paragraph is not EMP. It is called OMP. Let me show you one EMP also is there so that you can also get the practical exposure of EMP if we'll find the audit report of individual Reliance. I think there is somewhere. एक तो इनकी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट ही नहीं खत्म होती है. Over. If we have the good karmas, you will find EMP. And I think you have. Cam, yeah. What is the name of this para? ऐसा कैसा हो सकता है? अपन कैसे भी दिखाएंगे. अच्छा ये बताओ, what is the language you found over there? We did not do the audit of 320 subsidiaries which are constituting 61% of the turnover. Look at the starting of this language in emphasis para. We draw your attention to note number 31B and 41.1 of the financial statement. It means what the auditor is trying to tell you. It is something which is already mentioned in what? Financial statement, but we would like to draw your attention on that place. Are you getting the point? So tell me, it is already disclosed by the management or other than disclosed by the management? तो कौन सा पैराग्राफ का हेडिंग क्या है? EMP. And there we wrote कि we would like to tell you कि we have not done the audit of 320 subsidiaries of Reliance which are constituting 69% of its what? Turnover. वहां पे you are telling something or you are drawing your attention somewhere? We are telling it. And here we are drawing. And when do you draw someone's attention where? When something which is already disclosed or yet to be disclosed? So something which is already disclosed के केस में कौन सा पैराग्राफ आएगा? EMP. और when it is not disclosed के केस में कौन सा पैराग्राफ है? OMP. And the both are different from what? CAM. क्योंकि it is not something we are discussing with TCWG. Directly we are drawing the whose attention? Users. अब EMP कब आएगा, OMP कब आएगा और CAM कब आएगा? तीनों में डिफरेंस बताओ. Tell me the difference between CAM, EMP and OMP. In your definition while speaking only you should know that what you are saying. Tell me CAM when? Those matters which the auditor discussed with whom? PCB. Out of which the most significant matter which in his judgment are affecting, that I am going to disclose it in CAM. No negative opinion on the same declaration. Point number 1. Tell me when EMP, those matters which are already disclosed, analyzed, documented by the management in the financial statement, but auditor feels it is not sufficient. He would like to reframe it again for the better understanding of whom. तो उस केस में क्या आएगा? With the declaration that we do not give any separate opinion on these matters. तीनों में same common point. When OMP, those matters on which auditor would like to tell it to whom? User. Other than those matters which are already disclosed by management. In such cases, what he will do? OMP. अच्छा ये बताओ. We are doing emphasis paragraph. Now, are you able to see the last point written over here before CAM written? Our opinion is not modified in the respect of this matter. Same wording you found it in CAM, same wording you found it in EMP. Is it clear everyone? तो OMP कब आएगा, EMP कब आएगा और CAM कब आएगा? I hope all of you understood this concept. अभी अपन पढ़ते हैं कि actually standard में क्या है. This was called introduction of the standard, but I think now you will be able to see the standard in a very simple way. Now read the first topic. What is the name of the first topic? अब ये सीधी simply just read its total language. You will come to know. It will get absorbed. It deals with, what is the first main word you found? It deals with matlab it is not required actually. It is not required, but I feel that it is a which communication? Additional. So it deals with additional communication in the whose report? Which who considers? Auditors considers necessary to. मतलब मेरे को कोई फोर्स नहीं कर रहा है, मेरे को मैनेजमेंट नहीं बता रहा है, मेरे को खुद से फीलिंग आ रही है कि yes, this is something which the users deserves to know better for their additional information. Read the point number 1 and point number 2. Before reading, you have to tell me which one is EMP, which one is OMP. Read the A and B. Draw whose attention on matters that are presented and disclosed in. तो ये कौन सा है भैया? ये है EMP. Which one it is? EMP. Clear है? Read the second one. Then draw users' attention on matters other than disclosed or presented in the FS. That is called OMP. Other matters paragraph. इसीलिए E का मतलब क्या है? अच्छा, E का मतलब क्या है? Emphasis. I would like to emphasize on that thing which is already disclosed. So are you able to correlate the word? So emphasis word you have to write then. And other matter which management was supposed to do, but unfortunately they might not have done it. Next point. Objective पढ़ो. Drawing the user's attention when in auditor's judgment it is necessary to do so to make them understand his what? Responsibility, his what? Role and better understanding of the entity. देखो सर, मेरे यूजर में से क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि हम लोग आपको 5 to 10 लाख रुपीस ऑडिट फीस दे रहे हैं. We hired you as an independent examiner of our financial statement. We expect you to deliver us. और डिलीवरी का मतलब ये नहीं होता सिर्फ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट देना. डिलीवरी का मतलब ये होता है कि pros and cons of the financial statement you should just lay it down in front of them so that they can take a rightful decision to continue with the company or not to continue with the company. It's just that. And why they are hiring you? Because they are not financially literate. You are the one. So they have a full trust and confidence on your capabilities and abilities. So that's the reason they are ready to pay you whatever you want. तुम्हें क्या लगता है रिलायंस के ऑडिटर की कितनी ऑडिट फीस होगी? है कैसी? हाँ बस मैं तो बताता हूँ 2016, मेरे को अभी की रिसेंट की नहीं पता, 2006 की बताता हूँ. 2006 में जब उनका ऑडिटर था, when the Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani got separated from each other, तो at that point of time it was 180 CR. समझ रहे हो? मैं बोलता हूं मेरे को लाइफ में एक ही ऑडिट चाहिए, मेरे को करना ही नहीं है और कुछ, मैं ग्रीडी नहीं हूं, मेरे को एक ही ऑडिट चाहिए. किसका? बस. और मेरे पास ऑप्शन है, मेरे को रिलायंस का दे दो, टाटा का दे दो, बस. और दोनों में से एक ही भी चलेगा, बाकी तुम ले लो. मेरे को एक बार देखो, मेरे को 180 करोड़ जब आएंगे तो मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं बैंक में डाल दूंगा। बैंक में मेरे को 10% एफडी रेट भी मिला तो 180 करोड़ का 18%, मतलब 18 करोड़ मैं फिर से बैंक में डाल दूंगा, फिर उसका 10% आएगा, मैं 1.8 करोड़, वो बस है मेरे को। तो अपन ने करना क्या, एक गोवा में विला लेंगे, एक दुबई में, और क्या, रौनक सर को रेंट पे दे देंगे और जाते रहते ना, तो ठीक है ना। तो मतलब अपने को करना क्या, और 180 साल में एक ही ऑडिट करना है मेरे को, और कुछ करना ही नहीं है। मैं बोलता हूं मेरी नेक्स्ट 50 जनरेशंस विल से वाओ व्हाट अ ग्रेट ग्रैंड 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 फादर वी हैड, रोहित ग्रोवर बोल के, है ना। तुम्हें क्या लगता है, तुम्हें एक ऑडिट नहीं चाहिए ऐसा? मेरे को बस है एक ही मिल जाए। मैं तो बहुत मतलब जेलस फील होता है मेरे को डीटीएस एंड एसोसिएट्स और एसआरबीसी एंड एसोसिएट्स से, बिकॉज दे आर द ऑडिटर्स ऑफ होम रिलायंस। मतलब सीरियसली यार, ऑडिट मिलना तो ऐसी कंपनी का मिलना, नहीं तो मिलना ही नहीं, वेस्ट है। बाकी मतलब मैं करता हूं, बहुत बार ऑडिट करता हूं रिलायंस का, ऐसा नहीं है, ड्रीम्स में बहुत बार, मतलब सोचते सोचते करता हूं कि मैं मुकेश अंबानी सर के साथ उनके साथ कैम मैटर डिस्कस कर रहा हूं, कैम की ऑडिट मैटर्स, बट वो मेरे साथ डिस्कस नहीं करते, मैं ही करता हूं, क्योंकि ड्रीम से मेरे को ही आता है। चलो यहां तक समझ में आ गया सर, ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड मीनिंग। नाउ व्हाट इज द नोट, एवरीवन रीड द नोट। Note is both EMP and OMP does not affect whose opinion, and it shall be specifically stated in the para separate. हमें डिस्क्लेमर के जैसे सेपरेट लाइन में दिखाना है कि इन अवर ओपिनियन वी डू नॉट हैव अ सेपरेट ओपिनियन ऑन दीज मैटर्स, वी डू नॉट मॉडिफाई अवर ओपिनियन ऑन दीज मैटर्स, क्योंकि इट विल अननेसेसरली कंफ्यूज द यूजर अदरवाइज। क्योंकि तुम ओपिनियन पैराग्राफ में बोल रहे हो एवरीथिंग इज ट्रू एंड फेयर, और यहां पे तुम नेगेटिव नहीं बोल सकते। अब दोनों का situation, read it comparatively on both the side. What is EMP? This is how you have to write in the examination this language. Making your understanding is something different, and what you have to present is this. What is EMP? Read. When there is a matter which is already disclosed, analyzed, adjusted in financial statement by the management, but in auditor's judgment, it is his opinion that he shall reframe the same matter in his report for the better understanding of uses of finance. That is called EMP. And on the other side, if the auditor considers it necessary to communicate a matter. अब मैंने अच्छा मेरे को ये बताओ, when I said that कि out of 320 subsidiaries we have not audited that and they are constituting 69% of the total turnover of the Reliance Group. Now tell me, did I say something any negative, or I just conveyed an information which might be useful for some people? तो वही मैं बोल रहा हूं, इफ द ऑडिटर कंसिडर्स इट इज नेसेसरी टू कम्युनिकेट अ मैटर अदर देन दोज प्रेजेंटेड एंड डिस्क्लोज्ड इन व्हाट फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इज रेलेवेंट टू हुज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द ऑडिट, ऑडिटर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड हिज रिपोर्ट। नोट क्या है देखो, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पढ़ो, अंडर द ईएमपी। नाउ कम बैक टू द ईएमपी। ऑडिटर्स शैल इंक्लूड ईएमपी पैराग्राफ विद अ व्हाट सेपरेट सेक्शन एंड विद एन व्हाट appropriate heading. Now tell me, did we add it in CAM or somewhere else, or separate? Emphasis of matters. Same point applies for the whom others matters. Next point पढ़ो. The para shall refer to the information already presented and disclosed. Indicate that auditor's opinion is not modified in respect of the matters emphasized. On the other side, let us see. अच्छा ये बताना मेरे को, अच्छा कल मैं पूछना भूल गया, did I tell you the topic called CAM is not required in some areas? हमने डिस्कस किया वो? Okay, I thought we forgot it. We discussed. So tell me, what are the 4 areas where the CAM? When there is a disclaimer opinion, prohibited by law, sensitive and confidential, and what was the 4th area? Which is going to give an adverse consequence. Same point यहाँ पे OMP में क्या बोल रहा है वो? It shall not disclose anything which is what prohibited by law, or ये wordings you will not find it on the left side. Reason why? Because it is already disclosed by whom? अगर prohibited होता तो मैनेजमेंट ही डिस्क्लोज नहीं करता था, तो EMP पे this rule does not apply. This rule only and only applies in case of what? OMP. क्योंकि OMP में we are discussing those matters which the management already disclosed or other than disclosed. So we should also not disclose if it is prohibited by law or regulation. Clear है? Next one. Here also an auditor shall include a separate para with a separate section and heading. So up to this point, it was very much related to what? CAM. But story does not end here. There is a lot to learn in this standard. Next one. It indicates that the auditor's opinion is not modified. यहां तक अपना पूरा हो गया. अब ये देखो, what is this point? Communication with whom? TCWG. अब सुना ध्यान से. Did I go to TCWG to discuss the wordings of my CAM? Did I go to TCWG to discuss my wordings of CAM? I will do the same in case of EMP and OMP. Now read this point. If the auditor expects to include EMP and OMP in his report, he shall first communicate with whom? TCW. Regarding his what? Expectation and the wordings of the para. अगर उनको लगता है कि मेरा पैराग्राफ थोड़ा डिस्ट्रक्टिव है, instead of what? Constructive. If it is destructive and it is giving a negative impression, I am ready to go. कई बार क्या होता है सर, हम लोग words थोड़े harsh use करते हैं. Hard and harsh use we sometimes do. But maybe TCWG may not like it. So if you want, I will change my wordings, but don't tell me to include or not to include. That is whose responsibility? Auditors. Next one. This is the question. Another question of your December 2021 examination. CAM में हर साल every attempt में one question from CAM comes. मतलब 701 and 706 में से either of these two standards one question has to come, because the biggest fear of the students in the 700 series is to have a clear bifurcation between 701 and 706. जैसे तुम confused थी कि what was CAM and what was EMP and OMP, every ABC student get confused in that, but now I hope you have a clarity when CAM, when EMP and when what? OMP. What they are saying, relationship between what? अब मैं तुम्हें एक वन लाइनर बताता हूं. आफ्टर दैट व्हेन यू विल रीड दिस पैराग्राफ इट विल गेट कंज्यूम्ड. सी, फर्स्ट टेस्ट द आइटम एज अ कैम. रिपीट द रूल. फर्स्ट टेस्ट द आइटम एज अ कैम. इफ इट डज नॉट फिट इन व्हाट? कैम. राइट इट इन ईएमपी. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई सेड? तो पहले क्या टेस्ट करो? कैम में आ जाए, क्योंकि ईएमपी ड्रॉज वेरी लेस अटेंशन ऑफ द यूजर्स. क्योंकि यूजर्स को मतलब कि कैम का फुल फॉर्म क्या है? की ऑडिट. तो दैट विल ड्रॉ देयर मोर अटेंशन. तो फर्स्ट टेस्ट द आइटम एज अ व्हाट? कैम. इफ यू थिंक दैट इट इज नॉट फिटिंग इन द कैम्स क्राइटेरिया, देन द सेकंड ऑप्शन इज व्हाट? बट नॉट फर्स्ट ईएमपी एंड देन कैम. फर्स्ट कैम एंड देन ईएमपी. नाउ read this rule. CAM is generally included those most significant matters which in auditor judgment are required to be disclosed relating to current finance. ये तो अपनी definition आ गई. क्या आ गया? But sometimes there may be some matters that is not determined to be what? CAM in accordance with SA 701 because it does not require significant auditor's attention, but which in auditor's judgment is what? Fundamental to whose attention? User attention. In such cases it can be included in EMP or OMP. तो पहले अपन मैटर को देखेंगे, उसे पहले टेस्ट करेंगे कैम के अंदर. अगर वो कैम के अंदर फेल हो गया तो देन वी विल ट्राई टू डेफिनेटली पुट दैट मैटर इन द व्हाट? आइदर EMP और OMP. क्रिस्टल क्लियर? और ये आ गया तुम्हारा थर्ड क्वेश्चन नवंबर 2019 का. हेडिंग पढ़ो क्या लिखा हुआ है, सिर्फ हेडिंग. Circumstances when EMP में भी, मैं तुम्हें गारंटी दे सकता हूं, तो मेरे को आंसर नहीं दे सकते इसका. रीड द क्वेश्चन एंड ट्राई टू गिव मी द आंसर. Circumstances पूछा उन्होंने, मीनिंग नहीं पूछा. तो डोंट ट्राई टू गिव मी दैट मीनिंग वाला शिट. ठीक है ना? मीनिंग तो पूछा ही नहीं है उन्होंने. उन्होंने पूछा circumstances. मतलब एग्जैक्टली वो तुमसे एग्जाम्पल्स पूछ रहे हैं. एग्जाम्पल्स एज वेल एज द एरियाज वेयर द ईएमपी बिकम्स व्हाट? एक सर्कमस्टांस तो तुम्हें ऑलरेडी पता है. हाँ, एग्जाम्पल नहीं, सर्कमस्टांस पूछ रहा हूं अभी. तो एग्जाम्पल्स ये ना, ये देखो क्या लिखा हुआ है. एग्जाम्पल्स वेयर ईएमपी इज यूज्ड एंड मैंने दो सेपरेट क्वेश्चन बनाए. Circumstances का separate question, examples का separate question. Right now I'm asking you is what? Circumstances. बताओ, बताओ सर. लिखा था क्या? कहां पे? अरे बहुत ही ध्यान दो तुम. बताओ सर्कमस्टांस फिर भी। अच्छा तुम मुझे बताओ, मैं तुम्हें थोड़ा 500 सीरीज में लेके जाता हूं। 560 याद है विच इवेंट? उसमें 3 केसेस करे थे हमने। फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ बैलेंस शीट, बिफोर द साइनिंग ऑफ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट, आफ्टर द साइनिंग ऑफ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट, बिफोर सर्कुलेशन, आफ्टर सर्कुलेशन। आफ्टर सर्कुलेशन के केस में हमने क्या किया था? आफ्टर सर्कुलेशन के केस में हमने पहले तो नो प्रोसीजर्स आर रिक्वायर्ड इफ इट इज इमटेरियल, बट अगर वो मटेरियल है तो डीडीआई। व्हाट इज डीडीआई? डिस्कस, डिटरमाइन, इंक्वायर। इफ द मैनेजमेंट इज रेडी टू अमेंड देयर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, तब हमने किया था आई विल डू माई फैप एंड आई विल इशू द न्यू ऑडिट रिपोर्ट। और इफ द न्यू ऑडिट रिपोर्ट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, ड्यूअल डेटिंग पैरा। ड्यूअल डेटिंग पैरा के नीचे मैंने तुम्हें बताया था कि ईएमपी ओएमपी लिखा हुआ है। इफ यू वांट यू कैन चेक आउट योर नोट्स ऑल्सो। ईएमपी ओएमपी वहां पे लिखा हुआ है। ईएमपी ओएमपी हमने वहां पे क्यों लिखा? Why did I use the word called, why did I use the paragraph called EMP OMP in 560 के प्लेस पे? हाँ, सर्कुलेटेड। अच्छा, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में विच इज द मोस्ट इंफॉर्मेटिव स्टेटमेंट इन द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट? देखो बैलेंस शीट में अपने को एसेट लायबिलिटी का पोजीशन दिखता है, पीएनएल में क्या दिखता है? प्रॉफिट्स एंड लॉसेस। कैश फ्लो में इनफ्लो एंड आउटफ्लो। स्टेटमेंट ऑफ चेंजेस इन इक्विटी में अप एंड डाउन इन द चेंजेस इन द पैटर्न ऑफ शेयर होल्डिंग, विच इज द मोस्ट इंफॉर्मेटिव वर्ड, नोट्स टू अकाउंट। अब सुनना ध्यान से, वहां पे हमने ईएमपी ओएमपी क्यों किया? क्योंकि वी केम टू नो अबाउट एन इवेंट व्हेन आफ्टर सर्कुलेशन। सर्कुलेशन मींस व्हाट? मैनेजमेंट डिस्क्लोज और डिड नॉट डिस्क्लोज। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, ईएमपी आएगा या ओएमपी आएगा? ओएमपी आएगा। यहां पे ईएमपी नहीं आएगा। कौन सा टॉपिक आएगा? ओएमपी। क्यों? इट इज अ मैटर अदर देन विच इज डिस्क्लोज बाय होम? मैनेजमेंट। क्लियर है? पहले ओएमपी आएगा। अब मेरे को बताओ, लेकिन हम लोग ओएमपी की बात ही नहीं कर रहे, हम लोग किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? सर्कमस्टांसेस अंडर विच इज नॉट व्हेन व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड? ईएमपी। चलो एक काम करो, इसका मैं एग्जांपल दूंगा, पहले टॉपिक पढ़ लो। क्या लिखा हुआ टॉपिक? व्हेन AFRF prescribed by the law or regulation would be unacceptable, but for the fact it is prescribed by what? Law and regulation. मैं एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूं which you will think that yes it is appropriate. सुनना ध्यान से। इंश्योरेंस क्लेम। इंश्योरेंस क्लेम is what? Is it an income of the company or is it a compensation for the loss? तो इमेजिन करो एक कंपनी का पीएनएल है, उसके क्रेडिट साइड पे 65 करोड़ ऑफ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम लिखा हुआ है। कितना? एंड दैट कंपनीज नेट प्रॉफिट इज 15 करोड़। मतलब दिस इज द पीएनएल, ठीक है, पीएनएल स्टेटमेंट है, उसके इंश्योरेंस क्लेम 65 करोड़ रिटर्न, and on the debit side, debit side, net profit 15 crore is written. So what is your impression about the company when you see the NP? You says that company is a which making. But if I'll remove this insurance claim from this particular P&L, अब तुम मुझे बताओ, is it a profit making or loss making? कितना loss? 50 crores. इसका मतलब company is not a profit making actually. Company is a what? वो तो उनको इंश्योरेंस क्लेम मिल गया बोल के थोड़ा प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज हुआ, फ्रॉम द नेगेटिव इट टर्न इनटू वर्ड पॉजिटिव, बट इमेजिन टू रिमूव दिस वर्ड। अब तुम मुझे बताओ AFRF क्या बोलता है? एप्लीकेबल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग फ्रेमवर्क सेज दैट इट हैज टू बी डिस्क्लोज्ड ऑन द विच साइड? क्रेडिट साइड। बट डोंट यू थिंक दैट वी आर इनडायरेक्टली टेलिंग अ लाई टू द यूजर्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट कि दिस इज अ प्रॉफिट मेकिंग कंपनी? तो टेल मी, हु फील्स दैट इट इज अ लाई टू देम? Auditor would like to reframe it again. मैं ये सेम कंटेंट को अपनी रिपोर्ट में ईएमपी पैराग्राफ में लिखूंगा। I would like to draw your attention to the item number insurance claim written on the credit side of your P&L account, that is insurance claim compensation which we received for the fire broke out in our godown last year for the stock worth rupees 80 crores. This is not a recurring income of the company. So in totality, it is just a non-recurring item. Are you getting the point? ये मैंने explain कर दिया. Now tell me, is this a circumstance number 1 where the EMP is required? Yes. So read the point number 1 again. Where the AFRF prescribed by the law and regulation would be what? Unacceptable. But for the fact it is prescribed by what? Law and regulation. Law and regulation मेरे को force कर रहा है to put it on the credit side. But is it acceptable or unacceptable? Unacceptable. People will think that it is a profit making company. But you open the corporate wheel. What do you mean by corporate wheel? अगर हम कंपनी का कर्टन साइड पे करें तो एक्चुअली इट इज अ प्रॉफिट मेकिंग और लॉस मेकिंग? लॉस मेकिंग. So this is my responsibility to reframe it again to bring it to the notice of whom? Users of financial statement. Reason number 1. Reason number 2 पढ़ो. To alert the users when the financial statements are prepared in accordance with what? अच्छा मैं तुम्हें एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूं. 2 तरह की फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट होती है. एक होती है जनरल पर्पस फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट and one are known as special purpose financial statement. Now listen to this. Sometimes in your audit report and in your annual return, both the financial statement will come. अब सुनना ध्यान से जो मैं बोल रहा हूं. 99.99% of the users must read GPFS only. They should not read what? SPFS. SPFS में S stands for what? Those financial statements we prepare for the particular and special users. जैसे मान लो सेबी ने मेरे को बोला आई डोंट वांट योर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इन शेड्यूल 3 फॉर्मेट, आई वांट योर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इन माय फॉर्मेट. अब तो मुझे बताओ हिज फॉर्मेट, सेबीज फॉर्मेट एंड शेड्यूल 3 फॉर्मेट आर सेम और डिफरेंट? तो शेड्यूल 3 फॉर्मेट इज कॉल्ड जीपीएफएस. व्हाट इज जीपीएफएस? एंड सेबी फॉर्मेट इज व्हाट? So when the shareholders, when the users will read this special purpose financial statement, will they be comfortable or uncomfortable? They are comfortable in what? General purpose. So I will draw their attention in my EMP paragraph. Ki don't read the SPFS, read the GPFS. So read the point again. Second point, to alert whom? Users. When the financial statements are prepared in accordance with what? Special purpose framework. And read this point. When ये वही वाला point है, just now we have done the subsequent event का. Read the point. When the facts became known to the auditor, when? After the date of audit report and auditor provides new amended which report? Revised report. उस टाइम पे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है अपने को यूजर को बता. अच्छा ये बताओ ड्यूल डेटिंग पैरा क्या होता है? Simply tell me. What is dual dating para? Already opinion paragraph is there. In the same audit report, you are giving the another opinion paragraph. So recent one invalidates the older one. लेकिन कहां पे बताओगे कि recent one invalidates the older one? In the paragraph called what? EMP. तो आप एक EMP para भी add करोगे. And in that EMP paragraph, you will write the opinion dated 8th September 2022. Is invalidating the opinion which I already given on 7 July 2022. So recent opinion invalidates the older. So these are the three circumstances under which you have to give a which para? EMP para. So exam में आया 3 mark को question. So will you be able to write the 3 mark points? Tell me the 3 points. When AFRF is prescribed and it is unacceptable, but unfortunately it is required by the law. Point number 2. To alert the users when they are reading the which financial statement? Special purpose financial. Third, to bring it to the notice of the users about those events which the auditor came to know after signing the audit report, so that they can have a better understanding of the financial statements. So these are the circumstances under what is required? EMP is required. Clear है? अभी देखो next point क्या है? Examples of the EMP may be used. What is the first example? An uncertainty to future outcome of the exceptional litigation regulatory action. अच्छा ये बताओ अमूल इंडस्ट्री पता है? अमूल वो क्या इंडस्ट्री है? वो डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स. तो इट इज इनडायरेक्ट कंजम्पशन इंडस्ट्री और डायरेक्ट कंजम्पशन. तो मान लो अमूल इंडस्ट्री के ऊपर एक केस आ गया कि 150 पीपल इन वन पर्टिकुलर विलेज डाइड बिकॉज दे कंज्यूम्ड अमूल बटर. अब तुम मुझे बताओ, is it necessary that Amul will win the case or it may lose the case? May win the case? So this is whose responsibility to bring it to the notice of the users, this sudden impression or sudden case held upon Amul industry? Auditor. So we will use a which paragraph? Acha, am I saying something negative? Am I saying that Amul is going to lose the case? Or I'm talking about the uncertainty. May win, but maybe the users might not be aware of that, na? So it is my responsibility to tell them कि what do you mean by this case law? कि ऐसा ऐसा करके case हुआ था, 150 people died, but we are not yet certain according to the medical reports कि they died because of something else mixed was in their food or it was because of Amul butter. So it may win, may lose. But don't you think that my users deserves to know this? Yes. So this is example number 1 where you will use the which paragraph? EMP paragraph. Read the example number 2. An event which took place after the financial statement date but before the date of which report? Example, like the fire broke out on the 8th May 2021 and audit report was dated on 10th July 2021. Is the 8th May after the balance sheet date? Yes. But is it before audit report? Yes. So it is required to be drawn at attention in the which para? EMP. Even though it is not affecting the profits of the company, but yes, they deserve to know. Read the third example. Early application of the new accounting standard that has a material effect on what? Financial. अच्छा, intermediate में you are doing INDS or AS? AS2 क्या है? AS10 क्या है? तो तुम्हें मालूम है INDS 116 क्या है? INDS 116 है plant property and equipment, which you are doing as a what? AS. So some companies in India are still following AS and some company 50-50 चल रहा है इंडिया में. 50% of the companies in India have already started following INDS and some companies are following what? AS. So suppose one of the shareholder is very intellectual. He knows what AS is all about, but he does not know what is what? India. So it is whose responsibility to tell to the users that the company is not following AS, company is following what? India. That's the reason this accounting treatment is different. So who will draw that attention? Auditor. Example number 3. Example number 4 padho. A major catastrophe that has or had continued to have a significant effect on entities which position? Financial position. What do you mean by that? ये वो वर्ड का मतलब क्या है जो मेजर के बाद लिखा हुआ? मेरे को तो प्रोनाउंस भी नहीं करना आता. कैटास्ट्रॉफ मतलब पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन. It is a disaster. Pandemic situation like COVID, right or not? तो मुझे ये बताओ कोविड में सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्टेड इंडस्ट्री कौन सी थी? क्या मां? सॉरी. Which was the biggest industry which got affected due to COVID pandemic situation? Food industry. Tourism. Fair enough. Tourism. सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्ट वही थी by the way. Tourism and wine and beer. दिमाग में वही आता है. और तुम्हें मालूम है जैसे पहला लॉकडाउन लिफ्ट हुआ था सबसे पहले शॉप्स भी वही खुले थे. वाइन एंड बियर. मतलब किराना शॉप को बंद कर दिया बट उन्होंने बोला वाइन एंड बियर शॉप और ओपन फ्रॉम 10 to 4. हद्दी थी नहीं. चलो वाइन एंड बियर शॉप को थोड़ा साइड रखते. टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री और एजुकेशन इंडस्ट्री भी. विच इंडस्ट्री एवरीवन? वो तो लेटर ऑन वी शिफ्टेड इट टू व्हाट? ऑनलाइन. अदरवाइज एवरीथिंग वाज व्हाट? ऑफलाइन बिफोर दैट. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? अब तो मुझे बताओ इज दिस अ टेम्पररी इवेंट और इट इज अ परमानेंट इवेंट नाउ? टेम्पररी है कोविड. तो मेरे को बताओ प्लेग पता है? प्लेग इट टुक 60 years टू इरेडिकेट दैट. इन्फ्लुएंजा इट टुक 75 years टू इरेडिकेट दैट. और कोविड को कितने साल हुए? इट इज ओनली 3 years ओल्ड बेबी. 2020 में आई थी, 19 में आया था, 20, 21, अभी सिर्फ 3 years ही हुए हैं उसको. तो डू यू थिंक दैट इट विल गो जस्ट लाइक दैट ओनली और इट विल कीप ऑन कमिंग? तो हु हैज टू टेल दैट इंफॉर्मेशन टू द यूजर्स कि दिस लॉस इज नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, दिस लॉस इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस टेम्पररी और परमानेंट सिचुएशन लाइक दैट. इट इज हुज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी? ऑडिटर्स. वाया वन पैराग्राफ कॉल्ड ईएमपी और ओएमपी. अब ये लास्ट पॉइंट पढ़ लो. ईएमपी ओएमपी का क्या लिखा हुआ है? बोथ पैरास आर नॉट सब्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ वर्ड कैम, जीसी, एमआरपी एंड बेसिक. बोथ पैरास डज नॉट रेज फिंगर ऑन मैनेजमेंट्स efficiencies and non-compliances. So that brings an end to your another very important standard called EMP and OMP. अभी मेरे को एक बात बताओ, 700 to 706 name and the numbers. 700 2 मिनट में रिवीजन करेंगे. 700 जल्दी बताओ क्या था. फॉर्मिंग एन ओपिनियन. ओपिनियन कैसे फॉर्म करते हैं? बेस्ड ऑन ऑडिट एविडेंस. और रिपोर्ट कैसे देते हैं? ओरल और रिटर्न. Is it always mandatory to give a hard copy or electronic also? Tell me the 14 elements of your audit report. Title, addressing, opinion, basis, GC, CAM, EMP, OMP, MRP, ARP, OLRR and date, place, signature. Signature में 7 items क्या आती हैं? Name of the sequence में बोलना है. Name of the firm, form registration number, signature, name of the partner, designation of the partner, membership number of the partner, or what are the 4 things which comes in our basis para. I have followed SAAE. Then my auditor's responsibility paragraph is given below. I have followed code of ethics required by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and I have obtained sufficient and और मैंने स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग भी फॉलो करे थे. ठीक है. एंड व्हाट आर द 5 थिंग्स व्हिच कम्स इन ओपिनियन पैरा? नेम ऑफ द एंटिटी, पीरियड ऑफ द ऑडिट, नेम ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट वी हैव ऑडिटेड एंड एक्सप्लेनेटरी स्टेटमेंट. इज इट क्लियर? 700 यहीं पे खत्म हो गया था. 701 क्या था? कैम. कैम का व्हाट आर द 3 थिंग्स यू विल गेट इन्फ्लुएंस व्हेन यू हैव टू जज समथिंग इज अ कैम और नॉट? Significant management estimates are involved. Significant ROMUM is assessed and significant event has taken place. CAM decreases my communicative value of the report. It brings less transparency. It is for whose better understanding? And ultimately is the purpose of EMP and OMP. So EMP, OMP and CAM, ये तीनों paragraph for the better understanding of whom? Users. Did you get the point? उसके बाद CAM is not a substitute of GC, basis, opinion, MRP, EMP and OMP. And same is the case with the EMP and OMP. They are not the substitute of CAM, GC, basis and MRP. Am I clear everyone? Acha, let it be EMP, OMP or CAM. Do we discuss the wordings with the management? Why do we discuss? To change the wordings if they prove to be little bit hard or harsh. Am I correct or not? Next point. But are they going to influence my decision on inclusion or non-inclusion? No. Next point. What is EMP and what is OMP? वाह, तेरे को तो ट्रॉफी देनी चाहिए. किधर गया हो ना लॉन्डे, शक्ल दिखाइयो. मैंने फुल फॉर्म नहीं पूछी थी. तो मतलब उसकी ना छाती चौड़ी होंगे. एम्फेसिस मैटर्स पैराग्राफ, अदर्स मैटर्स. बताना भाई EMP क्या होता है? Those matters which are already disclosed by the management, but auditor would like to reframe it for the better understanding of by drawing their attention. लेकिन what do you mean by others matters paragraph? Those matters other than what is disclosed by the management. Auditor would like to tell them that. लेकिन तीनों paragraph में what is a statutory declaration? These matters do not modify our opinion. हम लोग क्लियर कट लिखते हैं कि ये मैटर्स हमारी मॉडिफाई नहीं कर रहे ओपिनियन को. डिड यू गेट द पॉइंट? हियर ऑल्सो. अच्छा, व्हेन द कैम इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, व्हेन देयर इज अ डिस्क्लेमर, लॉ प्रोहिबिशन, sensitive and confidential, and it is providing the adverse consequence. And when OMP not required, when it is prohibited by law or regulation. What are the 3 circumstances under which EMP is required? When AFRF is forcing you to do something and you know that it is unacceptable, but you have to do it because it is under the AFRF. Second point, to draw the attention of the users when they are reading the special purpose financial statement. And third case, क्या? When you came across an event which occurred after balance sheet date and after signing of your audit. Examples आए तो लिख लोगे. If they will tell you to define these 3 things or 4 things, whatever the case में, देखो EMP, OMP, CAM में से one question is must. Definitely they are going to ask you. And nowadays they have started asking you which paragraph? ओपिनियन पैराग्राफ। तो मेक श्योर दैट गूगल में जितनी भी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट्स मिलेंगी ना तुम्हें, ट्राई टू रीड देयर पैराग्राफ। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सर्च फॉर क्लीन रिपोर्ट्स, देन क्वालिफाइड, एडवर्स एंड डिस्क्लेमर of the big listed companies, and try to read the second part of their opinion paragraph. You will understand the, जैसे अपने को यहां पे ये opinion paragraph है, now see this is the opinion paragraph we have. Don't read the first one paragraph, read the second paragraph which is given in the opinion. Where is opinion? इसका कहां है? अच्छा, basis. Yeah, this is the opinion paragraph. Now this is the main paragraph. They may ask you कि auditor is giving this second part. Read our point. ये as it is लिखना है. This one paragraph you have to mug up to write in the examination as it is. अब मैं तुम्हें बताता हूं इसमें डिफरेंस क्या होगा between the qualified, adverse and disclaimer. पहले वर्ड पढ़ो क्या लिखा हुआ है. In our opinion and to the best of information and according to the explanation given to us. मतलब हम लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, हमारी ओपिनियन में whatever the explanation and information they are given to us, the aforesaid standalone financial statement. पहले तो ये बताओ standalone का मतलब क्या होता है? Your own. Standalone का मतलब होता है your own. Consolidated का मतलब होता है you along with so many subsidiaries, associates and joint venture. तो the aforesaid standalone financial statement give the information required by which act? Company. तो हम लोग ये डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं कि as per the information and explanation given to us, in our opinion, the standalone financial statement of the Reliance is giving the information as required by Companies Act 2013 as what? Amended in the manner so required, and this is the main word. Give what? True and fair view in conformity with GAAP. What is GAAP? Generally accepted accounting principles in India of the what? State of affairs of the company. What do you mean by state of affairs of the company? Balance sheet. State of affairs of the company balance sheet as on what? 31/3/2021, and it's what? Profit included in the other comprehensive income, and it's what? Cash flows, and it's what? Changes in equity for the year ended on that day. ये पैराग्राफ तुम्हें मगअप करना है. This is something which you have to understand the wordings of. ये हो गया clean opinion. This is a which opinion? Adverse होती तो क्या लिखते? अगर एडवर्स होता तो सब कुछ सेम होता. एवरीथिंग इज सेम. तुम लिखते एज इन आवर ओपिनियन एज पर द इंफॉर्मेशन एंड explanation provided to us, the standalone financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited is giving the information as provided under the Companies Act 2013 amended only, but it is not giving true and fair opinion due to the reasons which are specified in the para below. What is below para? Basis para. समझ में आ रहा है? तुम्हें सिर्फ ये चीज ऐड करनी है, ड्यू टू द रीजंस which are specified in the para below. क्योंकि reasons we don't specify in the which para? Opinion. For that there is one separate paragraph called word basis पर. Clear है? अगर मान लो ये qualified होती तो word true and fair only will come, क्योंकि only in case of adverse you have to use the word not true, not fair. Here you will write true and fair subject to the following specified in para below. What you will write? What is the wording you wrote in adverse? Due, not true and not fair, subject to the reasons which are specified in the para below. और यहां पे क्या लिखोगे? Subject to the some reasons which are specified in the para below. लेकिन what is the major difference you found over there? True and fair, not true and clean में you are not writing anything like that. अच्छा, अगर ये disclaimer हुआ तो in our opinion की जगह है क्या? We are unable to express an opinion due to the non-availability of sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Therefore, we disclaim our opinion. Disclaim. What is the word they are using? Disclaim. So we are unable to claim our opinion. That's why we are using the word disclaim our opinion. That's it. इतना सा paragraph लिखना. So if you want to do more practice, you have a Google with you. गूगल पे बहुत सारी लिस्टेड कंपनी के एनुअल रिपोर्ट मानना, नॉट द ऑडिट रिपोर्ट. ऑडिट रिपोर्ट सेपरेटली यू वोंट गेट. एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स ऑफ रिलायंस, टाटा कंसल्टेंसी सर्विसेज, उसमें जाना सीधा इंडिपेंडेंट ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट पे एंड ट्राई टू रीड देयर पैराग्राफ्स. डिड यू गेट द पॉइंट? एंड इफ यू वांट द एडवर्स वन तो एक यूनिटेक लिमिटेड कंपनी को मार लेना, you will find the adverse report over there. Because adverse or disclaimer, frankly speaking, I have not seen in my lifetime so far on any company. क्योंकि adverse and disclaimer is a very rarest to the rare situation. मैंने qualified देखी है, मैंने clean देखी है, but I have not seen that one, which is what? Adverse. Clear everyone? So with that, what is over? With that, our 701, 5, 6 and 700 is over. We are left with only one standard, that is called 710. हाँ? कौन बोला? कौन बोला? नाम बताना, कौन बोला था? तू बोला? मतलब तू ऐसा बोलेगा मेरे को? हद्दी है यार, कोई इज्जत ही नहीं है. चलो कोई दिक्कत नहीं, विल डू इट टुमारो. ओके, सुनने में नहीं आया जो यू कैन लीव, नो प्रॉब्लम.